expected they might. So it's crunch time here. Either we're gonna have to see if there's true interest in the community to do the project or not, because it's, gonna cost to buy the vault, and so far the interest just hadn't been there. It's been in the paper a couple times, I think, or on the laser and on Facebook. So if you would, let's make one ditch effort the next 2 weeks to really push hard. And I know, just I've been busy, I ain't even bought one myself. Most of y'all probably ain't either. So I just say it's time we decide if this is a project that's really gonna go or not go. We need to push it out there and see what the interest truly is. If you have any questions about it, Caleb at the library has all the supplies. It's $20. $20 to get your items placed in the vault and buried in the park for 50 years. And I guess what it is everybody's like, well, I ain't gonna be here to see it, so I ain't worried about it apparently. That's the only thing I can figure, because there don't seem to be much excitement. Also, I'd like to take just a minute to recognize one of our law enforcement officials that passed away. A young man from our community. He's worked here, worked a serious case for us back when. Chris Carter, that was a member of the Kentucky State Police for as long as I can remember, passed away at a very young age. And of course, his uncle's the county judge, and I'd just like to take a moment and recognize his service for all the years he spent at the Kentucky State Police and for the loss of the community. A big family, and I'm sure they're somewhat devastated with the loss of Chris tonight. With that, we'll move right on into old business. If you had a chance to look at them, we have the minutes from the October 8th meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion second by Mr. Chapin. Any questions or concerns, addition? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And you have in your packet the October budget report. If anybody has any questions about that? I didn't really realize she put that on the agenda, but she did. So we can ask them at the end of the meeting or whatever. And then as far as new business goes, medical cannabis, obviously if we back up just a minute, the city had first taken the approach that we would just enact the ordinance authorizing it.
I have something to say about that when you're done.
Okay, and then, after we voted to do that, then the county decided to put it on the agenda, or on the, ballot for the voters. So then we said, well, let's just pause and wait and see what the election does. And obviously it passed, and so, our deadline to do it is coming quickly, so that's the reason I wanted to just put it back on the agenda tonight. So what did you have?
You know, I checked on this, and, you know, it got approved. And as I understand it, you know, we can have a separate system or licensing from the county.
Yes.
But I called the county attorney today, and they, so far, I think the fiscal court's getting ready to meet, but I was wanting a copy of their ordinance to see if we need to enact one of our own. And so far, apparently, there's not a county ordinance to enact, so I'm kind of waiting to see what the county does. I mean, if you want to have a first reading, I guess, doesn't do any harm.
Right.
But we might, if we're satisfied with what the county does, you know, we may not need to enact our own.
It's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, if you talk to Chris, we need to enact this ordinance, which just authorizes it, and then we'll have the opportunity to have another ordinance which,
Well, that's fine. We can have.
is
a
that
first
right?
reading.
Which, if we
That's
decide, we want to make, rules stricter than the state, then we
Right.
could have a different
Right.
ordinance that does
That's
that.
fine.
This just authorizes, this says the city is authorizing it to be done in the city, and that we will enforce it ourselves, and we will have the ability to input ourselves. So this was the same thing we was gonna enact before we hit the pause button and put it on, let the vote. So this is just a very generic,
Right, it's actually a model ordinance
yeah,
in the League of Cities, but I still think, we need to keep an eye on
Yeah.
what the county does.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, you know, I went through all those options with you all, but I don't think now that the voters voted, I don't think the county has much to, my thinking on it. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, I know the vote here was to pass this model ordinance to enact it. And then we hit the pause button and decided to let the county vote go forward and see what that was, and then come back and address this. So I had it laying on the desk just to put back on here after the election. So this would be the first reading, and then if something changes by next month. But here's, the deadline's like January, so that's the reason I wanna get it on here this month and then December in order for us to meet this deadline. And like I said, I read through it twice, it's very generic, it's just basically saying that the state gives the city the authority to adopt this, and we wish to, exercise our authority and do so. That's basically all it's saying. Any questions?
Is this for the cultivation and the pharmacy both in
Yes.
this?
Yes, those, licenses that you see there on page one is,
Right there?
but of course, if you remember the little talk we did, there's only so many.
Robertson.
Robertson, brain dead tonight. Any more questions? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All except Gary, who didn't run again, and I reached out to the new one, Kayla. I actually sent her a packet, just like I sent you all, and spoke with her, congratulated her. And she's looking forward to, I told her we'd swear in next month in December, that way January should be ready to go. In the meantime, I'll keep her in the loop on everything, just like you all. So, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, any comments from, the council?
You were putting up stop signs and stuff around, is that still happening? I mean, is that just slowly happening still, or did you run out?
Lady Washington, we ordered new, and I don't think they're here yet, but they should be any day if they ain't. They could be at the garage.
Yeah.
So,
On our street, or on, Clay Street there by the funeral home, those two are just solid white. Like at the intersection of, Pike Street and the intersection of,
well, I'll
Harry.
tell you what we'll do, the
Yeah,
new,
and
I'm trying to finish the major streets with the black signs, so like we got it for Lady Washington and, some major intersections. So what I can do, when we replace those on Lady Washington, if those aren't bad.
Yeah.
I can take them and replace them. If you're sitting right there at the funeral home,
yeah, I think that, and then
it's
the one next,
Perry,
yeah, and then over on Pike Street, like that one's on, yeah, so Clay Street.
Perry and Clay.
And then at Perry and Pike, where Clay Street intersects, there's one on a power pole and the other one's
Yeah.
on a street sign, but it's,
If not, I can order some.
they're just
but
wide, I mean, anything
Just
better than what's
say
on
that,
there
yeah,
now.
okay.
People are,
We'll swap
people
those
have
out.
it all the time.
we haven't used ours on Lady Washington.
Maybe you'll get
Well, nobody uses them right now, so they're not very well loved on.
Well, we just take them out.
They
You
used
might
to, they
as well
used to
take
be
them
out.
out because no
Put
one
'em
uses
some for
them.
sale.
I can remember when they weren't there. I remember when they were put in.
And we did put the white lines when we put the new.
We need the
Cross.
speed humps.
Right.
We need to speak up, because I'm gonna tell you, I was home a week ago, and we have the elementary kids walk up to the library. We have the kids walking from the preschool over to First Baptist Church. And honestly, you know, they're going to the library, they're coming back. For the safety of the kids, you can still, you know, go and snow removal, they do in Lexington, they're all over Lexington and other cities. So, you know, I'm still concerned about the safety of the kids crossing there, and I really would like, because I mean, They fly down the
And
street.
Greg, you still got that, we brought it twice, didn't
You want me to run get it?
we? Yeah, run it, since.
And did y'all like monitor the traffic?
No.
While he's getting that, anything else from Tim?
One thing, I am crazy, and I missed it, but the minutes from the last meeting had me absent. I thought I was here.
Hey, I didn't do the minutes, I don't know.
Based on the collisions amount, the KSP, you can see what the amount of collisions we've had on Lady Washington Street. Then we've done a speed survey to see how many vehicles were speeding. There was actually only 2 vehicles that were going over the 25-mile-an-hour limit. One of them sat here.
Well, you,
And the other one was the Northeast van, I'll just tell you that. So, I took, liberty of putting some negatives and positives of speed humps, what it could be. And then I took, another liberty based on Global Metro's guidelines for requirements for speed humps. Kind of modified to our size of town, with some justification on that. And there's guidelines of what you could go by, something y'all look through, if y'all want to.
Well,
go
Chief,
through. Any questions?
I should know this, but what's the difference between a speed hump and a speed bump?
The speed humps are, it's the way they're designed. The way they're designed, they're more over, they're
Flat.
2 foot wide, where a speed bump's just up and down.
Height and width,
What's that?
the height and width. A speed hump is flat to the bumps.
So anyway, that's some reading for you all, you can read the trash history there.
You can see the summary there.
Now.
Our recommendation, and Harold's already in the process of doing it, is to start off with new stop signs and
White line.
white lines showing where to stop. So, and cut back some of the foliage. There's some trees, I don't know if it's private property or city right away, some trees that are kind of blocking the areas. And when you really start looking at that distance, that short distance, by the time you start putting in, you have to put a warning sign up. You're gonna put a warning sign so many feet back. You're gonna have a warning sign as soon as you turn off Madison Street, you're gonna have a warning sign right there by Deerfield's residence, right in his yard. You're gonna have to put a sign up in order to be legal.
like that.
And then you gotta be so many feet away from driveways, with the speed humps, and you gotta be so many feet away from the intersection itself.
What about those, like solar powered speed limit signs that tell you your speed and they flash if you're going, if it's 25 and you hit 35, it'll flash red and that kind of stuff? I mean,
Cost me,
I think.
About $6,000. Yeah, when Millard School was going in, they wanted
$6,000 pictures.
but that was for 2, but they wanted the solar powered LED school zone sign. And we got the prices for them, and it was outrageous, it was high.
I believe it's $6,000 for two.
unlike, I was thinking like Priest or something,
Yeah.
one where,
I think they're nice.
yeah, and that's an easy one to speed on, you don't even realize.
Yeah.
So you get that big red light, that would be, I did not realize it'd be
And
$6,000.
that was without the radar.
That's true, the ones we priced
Were
were
just
just school
LED.
zone that flashed at certain times.
Yeah.
And it was $6,000 some dollars.
So,
But they were solar powered timers and
Yeah.
all that,
Yes.
LED
Yeah.
lights.
but you figure one radar
Very
unit,
effective.
Yeah.
hookup.
So that would get me, if
Yeah,
I,
they're
if I saw,
effective.
I wouldn't even realize that I was going 35 and a 25 and then that made a flash. I felt like that helped pretty good.
and those have to be maintained too. You have to make sure they're in calibration
Right.
all the time.
I'll talk to her tomorrow. Tell her.
That's what I said, it was like every date she picked, it's everything, and I don't know, but, yeah, but she did, I thought sure she told me the 14th.
And they still might be able to do it, have dinner after the parade or something.
I'd be surprised if she, but, yeah, but if you don't care, check
I'll
with
check on that,
Brenda.
yeah.
And have y'all already got any info on it too?
Not that I know of.
Okay,
I can check right now.
I'll try to get that and get it to you all.
All right.
Dates. So don't say the 14th, though, I have to
Gotcha.
check. Might be saying.
Give me just a minute and I'll find out.
They said the 14th.
And I do have quick, 2 items for, executive session. If we could get a motion to go into executive session real quick, 1 for, potential litigation, 2 for property acquisition. Have a motion by Mr. Chason, second by Mr. Grove. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Issue of potential litigation that has been settled, so there's no further action needed or taken on that. Did everything agreed upon. And then, we discussed an issue of leasing some property, acquiring some property, and, no official action is taken at this time on that. Any other questions from the audience? All right, hearing none, go, think about the time capsule, and if we wanna do it, get serious, tell folks, and try to drum up some sales. If not,
And the date you just told me, or
For the
do you wanna
time.
say that date for the,
Christmas parade is December the 14th at 7 p.m.
And
And the
there's a-
Christmas tree lighting is the 23rd at
7th,
7 p.m.
November 20th, yeah, at the park,
November.
November at the park.
Yeah. Other than that, go UK.
Happy Thanksgiving.